MFCeon, what do you think he should do this game
I think he should
to
win
win?
this game.
Well, yeah, how should he go about winning this game? What do you think?
I think he should drop hack Fluttershy. I think fundamentally for this game, his main strength is going to come from the fact that he's become so predictable in his style. As we saw with the cheese game, he was capable of being very aggressive against Fluttershy and abusing that. And then I think this game, he needs to switch it up and go for something unique, something a little bit stronger. And if he can do that, then he's going to be in a very, very great spot. Especially if he can trick his opponent into going for this Roach Hydra and then just smash it with some sort of Marauder Hellion composition. The Hellions coming in from behind against the Hydralisks, the Marauders smashing through the Roaches at the front. I think that would be a phenomenal play, but right now, Xeon is just doing the small things. And there he is, making the barracks behind his mineral line at the natural to try and trick Fluttershy into thinking this is going to be similar to the third game that was played.
Yes. And if Fluttershy is smart, he is not sending a drone to scout. He should be doing so very, very soon. But, look at this Overlord, the waypoints it has. It is going to see the barracks.
Absolutely, and once it spots the barracks, then Fluttershy is going to know at least it's some sort of regular expand play that his opponent will be conducting.
There goes the pull down. Fluttershy is one of the guys, I have to say this is one flaw in his game. He very rarely scouts with a drone, as opposed to Maestro, who also played in this tournament today, who always scouts with a drone. He goes as far as to say that not scouting, not having a second scout with your drone is suicidal in most matchups, and that getting hatch before pool in ZVP is also suicidal, so he never does that. Fluttershy is very, very, very greedy, so he very rarely scouts with a drone.
Xeon picks up on the Overlord, and he might be able to get the Overlord kill. If this Overlord does go down, then it's going to blind Fluttershy, and he's not going to be able to see if his opponent is doing the same playstyle as before, which it looks like he is doing. But even though Fluttershy got away with the Overlord, Xeon knows where the Overlord is, and he's going to be able to stop the scout from coming in the future. Fluttershy is going to have to play completely blind this game.
Well, there is a lot of things he has to prepare for, but in the least, he knows the timing of the attacks. So even if he does not scout, then he can, if he's got the towers, he can see any Marine pushes advancing beforehand, like any Marine SCV trains.
Yes.
That might give him enough time to build spines, to mass link defense, maybe even build some more queens for transfuses and damage. And if he does not see that, then the only other thing that can come are Hellions, later on Banshees, and later on a full-fledged medevac timing. And you can prepare for all of those things just by blindly making contingencies for that. While I do agree that playing like this is suboptimal because it makes you waste a lot of resources,
yes,
it can be done, and you can stay reasonably safe. This Overlord is going in for a second scout this time around. It wants to confirm and check the add-ons on the barracks, I would like to assume.
It doesn't see anything on the barracks, but the factory is very far away, so I doubt there's going to be any form of sort of lift-up play. And Xeon needs to react now if he's going to be able to take that Overlord out before it gets somewhere where it's going to be able to scout further. And there come the three Marines. They're going to start hitting on that Overlord, and the Overlord goes down like a drunk girl at a party.
Yeah. We need to. Too bad. You can revive drunk girls, and you can do all sorts of other things with them while they are drunk. And
I don't know what you do with girls whilst they're drunk, BelleNOiR. You've already
cannot
tried
do that
to be a
with
pervert with me today, so
you cannot do that with fallen overlords, unfortunately.
So Xeon is actually just going straight into Marine tank play, and Fluttershy is just getting his Roach Warren again, so it is very different from the previous games, and Xeon is slightly supply blocked, which isn't the best thing that could happen to him right now.
Well, that is true, it isn't. He is getting a third CC as well, so he's going to rely on the tank defense to hold the line at his natural, but I still think he's expanding way too quickly because you can never catch up versus a Zerg in economy play. So I think the better approach is to try to punish the Zerg for punish his third base while you're taking your third, and not doing it this way. I mean, it's really, really greedy. Rarely works. Fluttershy is getting that Roach Warren, as I said. That's one of those contingency plans I talked about earlier. He is also getting the speed.
Yeah.
And will he go for Hydras again, or will he abuse the fact that nothing came his way so far? No Hellions, no Banshees. Will he go for Mutalisks this time? He has the economy to do it.
Indeed, and Fluttershy just making the small changes now to his game plan. And he's going to go out with these Lings. He's going to see the tank shell hit his Lings, and then the Marine volleys are going to start coming forward. And he actually loses most of those Zerglings there, so this can be easily cleaned up by Xeon. But Fluttershy does get information that this is siege tanks here, so he's going to want to be going for some sort of Mutalisk or Infestors as fast as possible.
Yeah, definitely. So there we have the Baneling Nest being dropped down and the double evolution chambers. As soon as he has gas for it, I would not put a infestation pit. Oh, as I speak about it, as I talk about it, there it is, the infestation pit going down as well. So no Spire for now. He is going to go with that Infestor answer to this style of play. He will get the Spire later in the game, but at that point he will most likely use it for Corruptors and Broodlords, but until that point he will be relying on Ling, maybe some Roaches, and a ton of Infestors to keep himself alive and progress in this game. Look at this, taking a 4th base, and is he going to take a 5th?
Xeon is sending out a drop now. +1/1 has just finished. Stim is about to finish. So this is all timed up nicely together, so we will be able to do a lot of damage to his opponent with this drop.
Yeah, combat shields on the way as well. We have the first Banelings morphing right now. Pathogen glands started, +1/+1 for the melee and carapace as well. And we have a hive on the way. So scratch that. I think Fluttershy is actually going for the Ultralisk late game composition. Lynx coming in to defend the drop. They chase the Marines away, but not before the Marines get a kill on that Queen, which is actually huge. Lowering the number of larva Fluttershy has or will have at his disposal.
And Xeon does get the scout off. He knows Banelings are on the field. He knows Roaches are on the field. He knows how many upgrades his opponent has. And Xeon's just going to bounce back and forth between bases now with this drop, trying to be as pesky as possible. And Fluttershy can already tell this is going to be dropping onto his 4th base.
Yeah, he already has Lynx in position. I think what he's going to try to do here is split his army up evenly, maybe. Oh, another Queen might get picked up. No, the Lynx are already there, prepared to defend this. So Xeon is withdrawing his drop. Hive is finished. A lot of Infestors coming out, and those are actually the first Infestors of the game. Only 5 Infestors. All right.
Fluttershy sees the 3rd base of his opponent going down, and the Ultralisk Cavern, if it doesn't get detected, it's going to be very bad for Xeon if he's still sticking with this Marine tank style. He needs to get himself out some Marauders, something with a bit more punch to it than the Marines. The Marines, whilst a good unit, have no capacity to stay working against the Ultralisks.
And Xeon goes to take care of that Link at his third base so that he can land that. There we go. But Fluttershy, oh, he may actually, if the loadout is too late, all of those Marines may end up dying. A lot of SCVs going down to the Banelings. There he loads up the Marines, but freshly dropped mules take damage and die as a result as well. We have 9 SCVs killed so far for Fluttershy. Units lost tab showing that the Zerg is far behind in this department so far, but he is catching up. And you know, the biggest threat to the Terran right now indeed are those upcoming Ultralisks and the Adrenal Glands. And we also have Burrow nearly done.
Absolutely. Xeon salvaging his bunkers in his main base. Looks like he's ready to start pushing out into the middle of the map, take his 3rd base. But Fluttershy already has creep over towards it, and the creep might actually just spread enough to be able to stop the expansion going down. And there it is. Fluttershy's creep stopping someone's third base.
Oh, the tanks, nice job on focus firing those banelings, but they will go down regardless. There are still lings running rampart. They will deny this fourth base of MFCeon. Fluttershy is pulling back at the moment, but he still is retaining his 5 infestors. He's just, where are they? He's just keeping them somewhere back, I know it. Somewhere safe to gather up energy. Where do you
just
have
outside the
infestors?
natural. They're sitting there waiting to be used, and MFCeon at the moment is looking in a very poor position. He doesn't have much of a bioforce. He doesn't have anything to deal with his opponent's army. And Fluttershy won't even need to use the infestors to win this game. He's just
Oh my
going to walk
God.
over MFCeon right now.
So many nice baneling detonations, and I love what he's doing with those ultras. Every time he thinks that the battle is not going in his favor, he just moves them back, so that he does not have to spend that gas again. Here
Fluttershy's
we have
about to
the
get a really good
infestors.
fungal now. Oh, MFCeon split stock just in time, so he only catches a few.
Oh, he actually gets half of the Marines there, and this is a really small army Fluttershy is fighting with here, but he's microing it so well. And as well, MFCeon has a really small army, but now the units are clumped up. They eat that fungal. Oh my god, and there is a Thor out, but the Ultra should be able to take care of that. Another fungal going down, and I see Fluttershy here is getting a decisive advantage and a better trade in this deal.
Fluttershy is going to be able to push his opponent back this fight, but overall, MFCeon's just playing the slow game, and he's almost run out of minerals in his natural. He's almost run out of. He has run out of minerals at his main base. So fundamentally, at this point, he has nothing that can give him an advantage. And Fluttershy actually loses all of his infestors to a small fight in the middle there. But yet again, forcing his opponent back on 2 bases, retaining his base lead, and his economy is just enough to win this on its own. MFCeon has no capacity to do anything, and even being forced to pull off SCVs to fight against this. Holding position, using them as a barrier to keep his army alive, and now the Thor is just going to do as much as he can, but the Zerglings are really good against Thors. Tier 1 against Tier 3. Especially
on 2-2 upgrades with Adrenal Glands, and now all MFCeon has to hold on to is his main base, which is totally mined out, and he's out of minerals. All he can mine is just a little bit of gas, but what are you going to build? And there it goes, a little crying face and a GG, and Fluttershy advances. He does it. He advances into the finals of the whole thing.